Focus on yourself and shock everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Are you ready to become the architect of your life? Not just a bystander, not just someone who reacts to circumstances, but the creator of extraordinary outcomes? If so, listen carefully. Everything begins with you. You see, the world will try to distract you. It will demand your attention with noise, drama, and opinions. But here's the secret. The most profound transformation happens not out there, but within you. When you shift your focus inward, when you center yourself on who you wish to become, that's when the magic unfolds. Imagine, for a moment, the version of yourself that is confident, powerful, and unstoppable. Close your eyes and see it clearly. Who are you in that vision? What does your life look like? How do you feel in that state? Now here's the key. Don't wait for the world to hand it to you. Instead, embody that version of yourself right now. Feel the strength of your future self. Walk as if you've already accomplished everything you desire. Speak as if you possess the confidence you once thought was beyond reach. Act as if the universe has already aligned itself in your favor. When you focus on yourself truly and deeply, you begin to rewrite the story of your life. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others. You are no longer discouraged by temporary setbacks. Instead, you become a force, a quiet, unstoppable force that no one can ignore. Here's the truth most people miss. When you focus on yourself, you're not being selfish. You're being intentional. You're aligning with the higher version of who you are meant to be. And when you do that, the world takes notice. You don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. Just work on yourself in silence. Dream boldly, act quietly, and let your results do the talking. When you walk into a room, they'll feel the change in you before you say a word. When you show up with unwavering confidence, they'll see the fire in your eyes and wonder what happened. And that's when you'll shock them. Not by seeking their approval, not by trying to impress them, but by becoming so focused, so aligned, and so magnetic that they can't help but be inspired by your transformation. So today, decide. Decide that you are worth the time, the effort, and the energy. Decide that you will stop chasing others and start embracing the greatness within you. Because the truth is, the only competition is you against you. The only person you need to surpass is the version of yourself from yesterday. Focus on yourself and the world will be astonished by the person you become. Now go and be that person. True change and extraordinary outcomes are not born from the external world, they emerge from within. It's tempting to believe that success and fulfillment come from chasing things outside of ourselves, titles, wealth, approval, or recognition. But the truth is, the foundation of all greatness lies in your inner world. It's the thoughts you cultivate, the beliefs you hold, and the mindset you nurture that determine the life you create. You see, everything external is fleeting. Circumstances change, opinions shift, and material things come and go. If you anchor your identity in these impermanent things, your sense of self and your sense of purpose will always be at the mercy of something beyond your control. But when you shift your focus inward, when you make the deliberate choice to invest in your personal growth and mindset, you create a solid foundation that no external force can shake. Think about it. Every breakthrough, every accomplishment, every moment of success starts as an idea in the mind. The vision you hold for yourself shapes the actions you take, the risks you're willing to embrace, and the resilience you bring to challenges. By tending to your inner world, you're not just hoping for change, you're designing it. This is where your power lies, in recognizing that your thoughts are not just passive reflections of the world, but active tools for shaping it. What you believe about yourself matters. The stories you tell yourself matter. If you see yourself as limited, as someone who is held back by circumstances or past mistakes, then that is the reality you will live. But if you see yourself as someone capable, deserving, and unstoppable, you create the conditions for extraordinary outcomes. So the question isn't what's happening around you, the question is what's happening within you. Are you feeding your doubts or your confidence? Are you nurturing your fears or your dreams? Because the way you invest in your inner world will dictate the course of your outer world. Transformation begins with the smallest of choices, choosing to think a different thought, to let go of limiting beliefs, to envision a bigger possibility for your life. And as you make these inner shifts, the changes in your external life will follow. The opportunities will come, the success will appear, but it all starts with the decision to turn inward and focus on your growth and mindset. That's where true change begins. That's where extraordinary outcomes are born, not in the chaos of the world outside, but in the quiet power of the world within. The world we live in is a constant stream of noise. There's always something demanding your attention, whether it's the endless buzz of social media, the opinions of others, or the drama that seems to swirl around daily life. It's easy to get caught up in these distractions, but doing so can pull you further and further away from your true purpose. If you want to achieve clarity and focus, the first step is to silence the noise and reclaim your attention. Everywhere you turn, there's something or someone trying to tell you who to be, what to think, or how to live. But the reality is, these voices don't know you. They don't understand your unique path or the vision you hold for your life. When you allow yourself to be swayed by these external influences, you give away your power. You become reactive instead of proactive, a follower instead of a creator. Distractions are like weeds in a garden. If left unchecked, they can overrun your mind, leaving no room for the ideas and dreams that truly matter. The more you focus on the noise, the harder it becomes to hear your own inner voice. And that voice, your intuition, your inner guidance, is the one that knows the way forward. Blocking out distractions doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means becoming selective about what you allow into your mind and life. It's about recognizing that not every opinion matters, not every drama needs your attention, and not every shiny object deserves your time. When you start filtering out the noise, you create space for what truly matters, your goals, your growth, and your purpose. Think about it. How much of your time and energy is spent on things that don't bring you closer to your dreams? How often do you find yourself worrying about what others think, chasing trends, or getting caught up in conflicts that have nothing to do with you? Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you redirected all that energy toward what truly matters. The truth is, distractions are inevitable, but your response to them is a choice. When you train yourself to ignore the noise, you begin to see the world differently. You become laser focused on your own path. You stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with your own potential. And in that clarity, you'll find a sense of peace and purpose that no external drama can shake. Blocking out distractions is not just a strategy, it's a discipline. It's a daily commitment to choosing your growth over the chaos, your purpose over the trivial, and your dreams over the distractions. When you master this, you'll discover that the clarity and focus you've been searching for were always within your grasp. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself as the most confident, successful version of who you are meant to be. Not the person you feel you are today, not the one burdened by doubts or limitations, but the version of you who has already conquered the challenges, achieved the goals, and become everything you've dreamed of. Hold that image in your mind and feel it deeply. What do you see? How do you carry yourself in that state? How do you speak? How do you move? And what does your life look like? This is not just an exercise in imagination, it's an exercise in creation. Because before anything can exist in the physical world, it must first exist in your mind. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation begins with a clear vision of what's possible. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It's the process of aligning your mind with your highest potential. When you clearly define who you want to become, you set the stage for your thoughts, emotions, and actions to follow. This vision acts as your guiding star, pulling you toward it even when the path feels uncertain. Imagine waking up every day with that image of your best self at the forefront of your mind. You start to make decisions not as the person you are today, but as the person you're becoming. You begin to think differently, act differently, and even speak differently. When faced with challenges, you respond with the confidence of someone who has already overcome them. When tempted to settle for less, you remind yourself of the extraordinary life you are building. Your vision of your best self is a blueprint. It shows you what's possible and gives you the courage to step into it. And here's the most powerful part. The more vividly you imagine this version of yourself, the more your subconscious mind starts to accept it as reality. It begins to rewire your beliefs and behaviors to align with that image. Suddenly, opportunities that once seemed out of reach start to feel attainable. Habits that once held you back start to fall away. The key is clarity. The clearer your vision, the more powerful its pull. Don't just imagine broad success, see the details. Where do you live? What do your days look like? What kind of impact are you making? The more specific and vivid your vision, the stronger its influence on your life. And don't stop at just seeing it, feel it. Feel the pride, the joy, the gratitude of living that life. Feel the power of being that person. Because it's not just about visualizing a better life. It's about stepping into the emotions and mindset of that life, here and now. When you commit to this practice, you start to realize something extraordinary. The person you've been visualizing isn't some distant fantasy. It's you. It's the real you waiting to be uncovered and expressed. And every time you align yourself with that vision, you take one step closer to making it your reality. Imagine, for a moment, that everything you've ever wanted has already been accomplished. The goals you once dreamed of are now a part of your everyday reality. How would you act? How would you speak? What kind of energy would you carry into each interaction and decision? This is not just a question of imagination, it's an invitation to start living in alignment with your vision right now. The key to transformation lies in embodiment. It's not enough to simply wish or hope for your dreams to come true. You must step into the identity of the person who has already achieved them. This means adopting the mindset, habits, and behaviors of your future self, even if the results haven't yet shown up in your life. When you act as if you've already reached your goal, something extraordinary happens. You begin to reprogram your mind. Instead of waiting for proof from the outside world, you provide proof to yourself through your actions and feelings. Your brain starts to accept this new reality as truth, and soon your external world begins to shift to match the internal change. Consider the confidence of someone who has achieved great success. They walk into a room with a presence that commands respect, not because they're seeking validation, but because they already carry the belief that they belong there. You can adopt that same confidence today. You can choose to speak with conviction, act with purpose, and move through the world with the energy of someone who knows their worth. This is not about pretending or faking it. It's about aligning with the highest version of yourself. When you embody your vision, you're not denying your current reality, you're elevating it. You're choosing to live in the frequency of your dreams, creating a powerful bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Think about the choices you would make if you had already achieved your goals. Would you procrastinate or take decisive action? Would you doubt yourself or trust in your abilities? Would you settle for less or demand the best? Begin making those choices now. Begin living as though success is inevitable, as though the universe has already aligned everything in your favor. Feel the emotions of your future self. Feel the pride, the gratitude, the joy of living the life you've envisioned. Let those feelings guide you through every challenge and opportunity. When you embody your vision, you start to attract the people, resources, and circumstances that align with it. Every moment is an opportunity to step into your future self. The way you speak to yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the way you interact with the world. These are all chances to affirm who you are becoming. And as you consistently embody this version of yourself, you'll find that the gap between your dreams and your reality begins to close. The truth is, you don't have to wait for the world to validate your dreams. You don't have to wait for success to start feeling successful. Begin now. Start living as the person you've always aspired to be, and watch as your life transforms to match the vision you've claimed. Every person has a story they tell themselves about who they are, what they're capable of, and what their life can become. This story shapes everything. The choices you make, the goals you pursue, and the way you respond to challenges. But here's the truth. You are not bound by the story you've been living. At any moment, you have the power to rewrite it and create a narrative that aligns with the life you truly want. Focusing on yourself is the first step in this process. It's about stepping away from the expectations and judgments of others and turning your attention inward. Too often, we allow the voices of the outside world to dictate our self-perception. We internalize labels, criticisms, and limitations placed upon us, forgetting that we are the authors of our own lives. When you choose to focus on yourself, you reclaim the pen. You begin to see that your story isn't set in stone, it's a work in progress, and you are the one shaping its direction. This perspective gives you resilience. Setbacks and failures no longer feel like the end of the road because you realize they're just chapters in a much larger narrative. They don't define you, they refine you. Rewriting your story starts with recognizing the old scripts that no longer serve you. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, or that life has already dealt you an unfair hand. These beliefs are like heavy chains, keeping you stuck in place. But the moment you question them, you start to loosen their grip. Ask yourself, what kind of story do I want to live? Who do I want to be in this story? What challenges will I overcome? And what victories will I celebrate? Begin crafting a narrative that empowers you, one where you are the hero rather than the victim. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending that life is perfect. It's about shifting your perspective to see every obstacle as an opportunity, every setback as a setup for a comeback. It's about believing that you are capable of growth, change, and transformation, no matter where you start. And as you rewrite your story, something remarkable happens. You stop seeking external validation. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others because you're living in alignment with your truth. Your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. It comes from within. By taking control of your narrative, you become unshakable. Criticism, rejection, and failure lose their power over you because they no longer fit the story you're living. Instead of being defined by your circumstances, you define your circumstances through the lens of your chosen narrative. This is your life, your story, and your chance to create something extraordinary. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. Rewrite your story with courage, clarity, and conviction, and watch as your world begins to change in ways you never imagined possible. Focus is one of the most powerful tools you possess, but it must be intentional to unlock its true potential. In a world full of distractions, demands, and competing priorities, it's easy to let your attention drift in 1,000 directions. Yet this scattering of energy only dilutes your efforts, making it harder to achieve anything meaningful. That's why prioritizing yourself and your goals is not selfish. It's an essential act of self-respect and commitment to your highest potential. When you choose to focus on yourself, you're not ignoring the needs of others or neglecting your responsibilities. Instead, you're creating the foundation necessary to serve the world in the most impactful way. Think of it like building a house. You cannot create a structure that lasts without first laying a strong and stable foundation. Without it, everything else you attempt to build may crumble. Intentional focus means being clear about what matters most to you and directing your time and energy toward those priorities. It's about saying yes to the things that align with your values and vision, and unapologetically saying no to the distractions that pull you off course. This isn't always easy. It requires discipline and the courage to make decisions that may not be popular with others. But here's the truth. Every time you prioritize someone else's expectations over your own goals, you give away a piece of your power. When you allow yourself to be pulled in too many directions, you spread your energy so thin that it becomes impossible to make progress. The more you focus on yourself, the more concentrated your energy becomes, and the more unstoppable you become in pursuing your dreams. Intentional focus also means being present in the moment. It's not enough to simply set goals or make plans. You must give your full attention to the tasks at hand. When you're fully present, you work smarter, not harder. You notice opportunities you might otherwise miss. You solve problems with greater clarity, and you experience the deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you're giving your best effort. There's a misconception that focusing on yourself is a selfish act, but nothing could be further from the truth. When you invest in your own growth, you become a better version of yourself, more capable, more fulfilled, and more equipped to make a positive impact on those around you. Your success creates a ripple effect, inspiring others to pursue their own dreams and showing them what's possible. Intentional focus is not just about achieving goals. It's about aligning your life with your true purpose. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are finite resources and choosing to spend them on the things that truly matter. By prioritizing yourself, you honor your potential and create the conditions for a life that is not only successful, but deeply meaningful. This is the power of focus. It transforms distractions into opportunities, confusion into clarity, and potential into achievement. By making yourself a priority, you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be and open the door to the extraordinary life that awaits you. In a world where people often feel the need to broadcast their every move, there's something profoundly powerful about working in silence. It's not about secrecy or isolation. It's about focusing your energy on the task at hand without seeking external validation or approval. When you commit to quiet progress, you free yourself from the distractions of opinions, judgments, and expectations. You create space for true growth. When you share every detail of your journey prematurely, you invite others' perceptions into your process. While some may encourage you, others might criticize or doubt you. Even well-meaning feedback can plant seeds of self-doubt, distracting you from your goals. But when you work in silence, you protect your vision. You allow yourself the freedom to experiment, to fail, and to learn without the weight of external scrutiny. This isn't about keeping your ambitions a secret. It's about redirecting the energy you might spend explaining yourself and using it to fuel your progress. Every moment spent seeking validation is a moment lost in the pursuit of excellence. By staying focused on your work, you ensure that your time and effort are devoted to what truly matters, achieving your goals. Quiet progress also builds discipline. It forces you to rely on your inner drive rather than the fleeting motivation that comes from external praise. You begin to develop a deeper connection with your purpose, working not because someone is watching, but because it's what you're meant to do. This internal commitment is far more powerful and sustainable than any external applause. And when the results finally come, they speak louder than words ever could. There's an undeniable power in letting your achievements do the talking. The impact of your success will resonate far more deeply when it's backed by tangible results rather than empty promises or premature declarations. Working in silence doesn't mean isolating yourself completely. It means being selective about whom you share your journey with. Seek out mentors, confidants, and allies who genuinely support your vision and can offer constructive guidance. But avoid the temptation to announce every step to the world. Not everyone needs to know what you're building. Let them see it when it's ready. There's also a certain dignity in quiet work. It shows that you value your craft enough to pour your energy into it without the need for constant recognition. It's a testament to your dedication, your resilience, and your belief in what you're doing. As you continue working in silence, you'll notice a shift in how you view your progress. Instead of measuring it by others' reactions, you begin to measure it by your own growth and accomplishments. This internal measure is far more fulfilling and accurate because it's aligned with your values and goals. When the time comes to unveil your results, they will carry an undeniable weight. People will see not just the outcome, but the effort, the discipline, and the quiet determination that made it possible. And in that moment, you'll realize the profound truth. The most meaningful progress doesn't need an audience. It simply needs your commitment. There's a quiet but powerful form of inspiration that comes not from what you say, but from who you become. When you focus on your own self-growth, on transforming yourself into the best version of who you are, your journey itself becomes a source of inspiration to those around you. This type of inspiration doesn't rely on words or grand gestures. Instead, it emanates from the changes you make within yourself, the way you evolve, and the energy you bring into every moment. People are drawn to transformation. They are inspired not by the promises you make, but by the actions you take and the results that follow. When you focus on your own growth, you embody a truth that speaks louder than anything you could say. Others begin to see the changes in you, the confidence, the clarity, the resilience, and they can't help but be curious. How did you do it? What sparked the shift? But the beauty of this kind of inspiration is that it's not about offering explanations or boasting about your achievements. It's about letting the transformation speak for itself. As you become a living example of growth, others will be inspired to embark on their own journeys of self-improvement. You won't have to tell them how to change. They'll see your transformation and naturally feel compelled to follow suit. This process isn't about trying to impress others. It's about honoring your own potential and becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts admiration, respect, and curiosity. Your growth will speak for itself because it's authentic. It's grounded in a deep desire to become better, not for the recognition, but for the fulfillment it brings. By focusing on your own transformation, you stop chasing validation. The need to prove yourself fades because you understand that true impact doesn't come from seeking approval, but from embodying the change you wish to see. Your growth becomes a reflection of your inner strength, and as you continue to evolve, you unknowingly become a beacon of possibility for those around you. This kind of inspiration is quiet but powerful. It's the type of inspiration that doesn't demand attention, it simply commands respect. The more you grow, the more others will notice, and the more they will be drawn to their own potential. Your transformation becomes a silent invitation for them to step into their own. It's a ripple effect that starts with you, but extends far beyond what you can see. And the best part? You don't need to say a word to inspire someone. Your actions, your choices, and the way you live your life will do all the talking. As you continue to invest in yourself and rise to new heights, you'll witness the astonishment in others' eyes as they realize the power of transformation. In that moment, you'll understand that the most profound way to inspire others is simply by living out the potential that lies within you. The only true competition you'll ever face is the one between who you are today and who you were yesterday. It's not about comparing yourself to others, measuring your worth against their success, or trying to meet their expectations. The real challenge lies in surpassing your past self, growing, evolving, and improving from one moment to the next. Too often we become distracted by the achievements and lives of those around us, thinking that success is a race against everyone else. But in reality, the only person standing in the way of your progress is the version of you who existed yesterday. Each new day is an opportunity to outgrow who you were before, to take one more step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Surpassing your past self is not a dramatic leap. It's the accumulation of small, consistent improvements. It's about waking up each morning with the intention of being just a little bit better than you were the day before. Whether it's making better choices, learning something new, or becoming more disciplined in your actions, every step you take toward personal growth adds up to monumental change over time. This is where the true power lies, in daily progress. It's easy to feel discouraged when we look at the gap between where we are now and where we want to be, but the key to success is not in giant, overwhelming strides, it's in consistent, incremental growth. By focusing on surpassing who you were yesterday, you build momentum that drives you forward, one step at a time. It's important to remember that this process is not about perfection, it's about progress. You will face setbacks, make mistakes, and sometimes fall short of your goals, but these are all part of the journey. They don't define you. What matters is your commitment to getting back up and striving to be better the next day. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. This removes the pressure of constantly comparing yourself to others, freeing you to focus on your own path. And as you continue to outgrow your past self, you'll find that success begins to take care of itself. Each day becomes a building block, and over time, the life you've always dreamed of becomes your reality. Surpassing your past self is also about cultivating a mindset of continuous improvement. It's not enough to rest on past accomplishments or take comfort in the idea that you've done enough. There's always room to grow, always an opportunity to refine your skills, your mindset, and your actions. The pursuit of self-improvement should never stop. So start measuring your success not by how far ahead of others you are, but by how much you've grown from who you were yesterday. Challenge yourself to be better each day, to make decisions that align with your highest potential, and to take actions that move you closer to your goals. When you focus on surpassing your past self, you unlock a power that can't be shaken, because it comes from within and it's unstoppable. There is an untapped well of greatness within you, waiting to be unleashed. But in order for that potential to flow freely, you must first make a decision, the decision to prioritize your growth above all else. This commitment is not just about acquiring new skills or achieving milestones. It's about unlocking the full power of who you are, aligning with your true potential, and stepping into the person you are destined to become. When you make the conscious choice to invest in your own development, something remarkable happens. You stop living in the shadows of your fears, doubts, and limitations. Instead, you begin to embrace the idea that you are capable of more than you've ever realized. This shift in perspective is the key to unlocking your hidden greatness. The moment you decide to prioritize growth, you set in motion a transformation that goes beyond external accomplishments. You begin to change from the inside out. Your mindset shifts. You develop an unwavering belief in your abilities. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth, failures as lessons, and setbacks as temporary detours. Your growth is no longer something you wait for, it's something you create. As you continue to focus on self-improvement, something incredible happens. You develop a magnetic presence. People are drawn to the energy you exude, the confidence you radiate, and the clarity in your vision. You begin to inspire those around you simply by being the person you've become. Your transformation becomes a living example of what's possible when someone fully embraces their potential. But this kind of magnetic presence doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of countless hours of self-reflection, effort, and dedication. It's the cumulative effect of the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make each day to become better than you were yesterday. And as you make those choices, you begin to embody a level of authenticity and purpose that others can't help but notice. Your growth becomes contagious. It shocks those around you, inspiring them to look inward and question their own limitations. When people see you stepping into your greatness, they are reminded of their own potential. They begin to ask themselves, if they can do it, why can't I? This is the ripple effect of unleashing your potential. It empowers others to do the same. By prioritizing your growth, you set a powerful example of what's possible when you commit to yourself. You demonstrate that greatness is not reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone who is willing to do the work, face the discomfort, and challenge the status quo. Your journey becomes a source of inspiration, showing others that the only thing standing between them and their own potential is the decision to unlock it. This is the power of unleashing your potential. It's not just about achieving success for yourself, it's about creating a wave of inspiration that reverberates through everyone you encounter. When you step into your greatness, you leave an indelible mark on the world. Your presence becomes a living testament to what can happen when you decide to prioritize your growth and unlock the hidden power within.